Hi, everybody. What we were working on during the long period this week is we were trying to create a design in Figma, a user interface, just a few simple screens, and then what we were going to do with them is to render those screens in a React app. So that was the goal. As we worked on that, some people had some problems with connecting those screens with the notes back end. So only 3 of us were able to keep going on that. So as an alternate route, some people, Tyler, for example, um, created a new app from, with this build an app approach using the videos that I had provided a couple years ago on how to do that. So whether you were starting with the Notes app or whether you decided to ditch that and go with building your new app, we still want to render some UI components in a local React app. That is the goal. So the basic thing that I want you to do is even less than what we started in Figma. I want you just to be able to take one component in Figma. So the goal is one component in Figma and to make a collection and show that collection, and show it in the React app. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. I just wanted to make that clear for everybody. So it doesn't matter whether you made your app this way or you have your old app. This AA3 is my old app. You can do it. So Tyler had a couple questions from my old videos, and one question was, how do we make the collection? Okay, those videos were delivered to students that used another tutorial and they already knew how to make collections. It's real simple. I'll show you how to do that right now. And then the second question he had was, how do I set up app.js? So I think those are the main things that we want to accomplish right now. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. So regardless of how you created your React app, I'm going to this is my Notes app this is my Notes app that I had already set up previously, and it looks something like this. So this was all the links that I asked you guys to load, and we spent some 3 weeks working on this. So instead, so that's where I'm going to go to. You're going to go to either that or your other app. But in either case, we're going to go launch the studio. When you get into the studio, you should have already, you should go to the UI library, and you knew how to sync that with Figma. By the way, I saw that you could go to the UI library settings, and I think you can change your Figma link if you make a new Figma project. So some people, we just thought that might be a way of fixing your problems, is making a new Figma file. But anyway, you had already synced with Figma. Mine is synced with Figma. There's one, in this case, my note card. In your case, it might be the Fox card or whatever object you created or called it. It's just a basic UI component that shows the data that you're trying to display. So what data is that, you ask? Well, if we go to on the left, if you go to the data model, for me, it's the note. So it's the note object with the name, description, and image. For you, it could be a Fox object with a name, a Fox ID, something like that, in an image. So for me, it's this. And in the UI library, I have one very simple UI component that shows that data. So here's my note card. Now, you're going to click on configure, and when you get in there, um, what I did, what you will do is you'll click on this create collection button. I've already created a collection, so I'm not going to click on it, but when you click on it, just accept the new component that it makes. It's going to make a component that is not will not be found in Figma because it's been done in the cloud. And let's see here. Do you see at the bottom? It's called, for me, it's called Note Collection. And it actually will populate data from your database into that note collection if you want to see it. You can. This is what it populated for me because I have data. As you know, I have data in my notes database. So that's all you have to do. So that was satisfying the number one, how do I make a collection? It's easy. Go to the component that you want to make a collection of. Usually it's your simplest component. You're going to configure and you're going to click create collection. The second question that he had was, how do I set up app.js? I will send you today, Saturday, a very simple app.js file. Okay, so I'm going to go into code.js, my Visual Studio Code. You can go in there too, yours, and this is my app.js. Now, so what I'm going to give you is, I'm going to give you a file that has all that stuff cut out because what it was our notes app. And in that file, this is what you'll have, okay? Minus maybe this component there. Do you see this dim line number 4? It says import. I wanted to import my note nav bar and my note collection. Now, how do I know that I'm getting those? And it's going to come from UI components. Well, before we can do this, we have to do a pull, okay? So your question is, how do I pull? To pull, you're going to go to this you're in Amplify Studio. On every page, there's this link that says at the top that says local setup instructions. You're going to go to that local setup instructions and you're going to copy this Amplify pull. You're going to paste it into your terminal, but your terminal must be in the right location first. So see here, my application is called AAC, so I changed the directory cd'd to AAC. Let's see if I can make this bigger. I don't know if that'll, oh, it does make it bigger. Okay, so you see that I changed into it. I just did a ls list so I could make sure, yes, this is the right location. And here is the command that Amplify gave me. I copied it and I pasted it. And it has this important code, which is your app that is in the cloud. And it did the pull. And then I'm going to let you see what it showed for my pull. It said pre-pull status, and it started going through the staging environment, and it fetched the updates, and it successfully pulled the backend environment, and it tells me I could edit things certain ways. So I'm going back through here, and it says GraphQL schema compiled successfully, and looks like it's all done. So that's all I did. And then I started up my local host. I'm not going to push these changes with GitHub. I did the pull, and that's all I want to do for right now. Okay, so now you're going to go back to your app.js that I will send you this in my email today, and then you're going to you should have the correct folder. This is the folder on my local computer that has all my SRC. See, it should have this folder called UI components. I think that there was, I can't say 100% sure if there was an empty one there before, but it did bring in the UI components, and it brought in all these components from the cloud. When I did the pull, it brought in all these green lines. And so these are the components that I made in Figma. There's the note card. Oh, here's the note collection. There is the edit note. There's the new note, the UI edit, the UI new note, and here's my nav bar. Okay, so line number 4, I'm going to put, I see here, exact copy, uppercase, it is case sensitive, note nav bar, and then I also put note collection, because that's the collection that I want, from ./UI components. Okay, so that's how my React environment has been set up. It's not highlighted because I haven't called those components yet. Then there's going to be, in my return, there's a div and there's a header. So the first thing you're going to put in, I'm going to put in my note nav bar. I saw that it didn't look very good, but I'll just put it in there anyway. Note nav bar / close my caret. And then the other component that I want is, now notice that it's not gray anymore, and I'm going to do note collection / caret, and that's good. That's all I have. So if we go back to my local, I didn't save this yet. I'm going to go back to my local host so I can prove it to myself. And here's my current app. If I refresh, it's my current app. It's what we did in class. And then I'm going to go back to my my editor, and then I'm going to Command S, copies it, and then go back over here, and I see that my nav bar showed up here. Doesn't look great. There's some problems, and I'm going to have to fix that. And then here's the cards of all of the records in my database. So Dylan's, AJ's, Sonia's, they're all there, except I'm having a problem and my images are not showing correctly. However, I'm not worried about that for myself, and I'm not worried about that for you. We'll fix that later, but I just wanted to make sure that I could accomplish this goal of demonstrating for myself that I can make a component in Figma, turn it into a collection in Amplify Studio, and show it in the React app. So that's what I did. That's what I want you to do as well. So that's what the process is. Whether you do that by using your Notes app, or whether you do that another way, you should work on that over this weekend. You may have to make more than one new build apps in Amplify Studio to finally get this to work. Be sure that you do the pull that's here. Be sure that you create the collection, and then I'm sending you the app.js file that you're going to replace inside your inside your SRC directory. So we will talk some more in class on Monday. Have a great weekend.